I got my fan blowing on the controller heatsink a little bit. Basically charges on the controller. I think I have the dyno program working. I have a new optic sensor that I'll be installing here in the next few days, hopefully. Going to try 150 phase amp dyno run. I had success just a minute ago. Everything seems okay, so let's try another one just to see how it goes. Got to be careful not to overcharge the batteries with the charger hooked up there and doing regen at the same time. Yeah, my high side FETs hit 24 degrees. My low side FETs, those are the ones with the silver face conducting directly to the aluminum heatsink. They stayed at 17 degrees. That's incredible. This thing's going to be awesome. This thing will take a minute to fit the curve. I'll have to try some parameters. I have a new actually Damon is actually working on a really neat program that's going to do a coast down run, so I can actually measure the roller drag like in the bearings of my dyno and everything. But this is pretty exciting. It just takes a little time to calculate. There we are. Silver 2. So there's 6 horsepower with 150 phase amps, and max wheel torque in foot-pounds, 46 foot-pounds of torque. And that's well less than half of what I plan to run this controller at for settings. But got to ease up on it. Got to scope some things. So I think I should probably quit messing around before I blow it up. I have to make sure I test as I go, or else I'll never get anywhere. But efficiency, oh man, efficiency is way better. Like I'm running a lot higher efficiency up there in the low RPM, which is pretty cool. That means my controller is working really well. I can probably increase that yet. And it's in the high 60s down there. So I've actually improved efficiency with this design. So that's really cool. Everything's happening in the right way. You can actually click here and see where the torque is. You can see the torque's pretty high down there, around 44 foot-pounds. Up here it drops down to around 35. Kind of could be a few things causing that. Definitely some settings I can change in the controller, and you know the batteries are cold. I think it's only roughly probably 10 degrees in here. Yeah, 13 degrees in here. So batteries are at 13 degrees with, you know, a pretty full charge, but you know, some things like that, and probably a couple connectors I got to replace. A couple of these Andersons. Actually, should undo those now anyway. But that's a hell of a start to the 2014. I think this controller is hopefully gonna go on my cart over there. I'm gonna run a Colossus with it or something. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna have some other motors coming soon to work on, and then aside from that, I should probably unhook my charger too, because it'll keep the power up. And then aside from that, I have another set of boards on the way that'll redesign this. I'm gonna make these are little FET drivers that hold all the MOSFETs off. So there's a second set of MOSFETs on here. One little mini surface mount MOSFET like that right there that clamps each MOSFET off when the opposite side of the H-bridge is trying to turn on to try and save it, and it works really well. So I think I'm gonna redesign this whole system to have those surface mount MOSFETs right on the board so that it'll work.